late streaming today because I had it all set up, and I went upstairs, ate some dinner, and I came down, and the cat was sitting on my laptop. Apparently, the cat was streaming for 5 minutes and then crashed OBS, so I had to restart everything. So it all looks great. So it's good. In fact, let me close this so I can see my chat windows. Oh, hey, Doug. How are you? So, yeah, my cat apparently was live streaming. All right, today I am going to be working on the Final Fantasy quilt, finally. Sorry, I was just getting the Hyrulean shield, working on that. I know, Kitty Cat. So, Final Fantasy. It's a little bit of a different kind of quilt. It is a working sort of? What do you mean, Doug, by working sort of? When I say how are you, I assume it means you're working, or is the stream not working? I hope it's you and not my stream, because everything says my stream is perfect. See, now you got me worried. Oh, you want to show that? Okay, yeah, give me a sec. Oh, okay, you scared me, Doug. Okay, stream is perfect. Okay, so before I get into Final Fantasy, Jord wanted to share her medal.
Well, it's from the robot stuff, right?
Yeah, well, that's fine.
Okay.
So well, no, you don't want to come show it and talk about it?
No.
Okay. So this weekend, Jord had another robotics competition. This is the medal she got from the first one. It's pretty cool. It is, and so she is done with robotics for the year. Yeah, for the school year. Sorry, for the school year. So she just wanted to share the silver medal that she got from the last one. So thanks, hon. All right, so Final Fantasy.
I thought since you said it
So Final Fantasy is a little different. It is whenever this gentleman approached me and asked about commissions, just making sure my iron's on, he said that he wanted screenshots from Final Fantasy IX. He wanted to try to take these screenshots of the virtue, sorrow, dilemma, indulgence, devotion, despair, arrogance, and solitude, and have me pixelate them. And I went, no, I can't do that. They're way too complex. There is no way that I could pixelate these things and put it into a queen-size quilt. So I said, sorry, I gotta think of something else. And then what happens normally when I say no to something, my brain starts thinking. And I went, I bet the photo quilt lady could, the photo fabric lady could take these screenshots and turn them into fabric. So I had him send me the pictures, making sure they're high quality enough, and then I paid the lady that makes all of my photo fabrics to turn the screenshots into panels. So I should get the Final Fantasy quilt done in one night. I should get it done tonight, start to finish. It is 9 panels of all of the screenshots. You see how large these are? I've got a picture in the bottom right of my screen that'll show you what the quilt I'm envisioning, what it's going to look like when it's finished. So basically I'm taking these panels and I'm adding a couple of borders, and that's it. Now it is a queen size quilt, so it's a large quilt, which is why these panels are large. So my next step was the picture that you see down there, is I took it and I printed it out and I started doing all of my math, making sure it was going to be a queen size quilt. So I took the panels, measured them, dropped them in, and then it's got to be extra, because the panels are wider than they are longer, so I have to add extra length onto it. So how I'm going to do that is the sashing is only going to be 3 inches between and 6 inches the top and the bottom. So the sashing is going to be a little bit larger. And then I'm going to have a black border. This is actually going to go through here all the way around. That's going to be 4 inches. So it's going to add a little bit extra through here. And then I'm going to add another border all the way around to the gray of the 2 inches. So it's going to be a gray and black sashing with the borders. So that's the plan. So first step is to get some of the sashing done. So as you notice, I'm still working with just the one camera. last week I was in Florida for vacation. I couldn't tell. My husband's weird about telling people when we're all away because he's afraid because my address is on my website that people are going to come rob us, even though we have all this security and cameras everywhere. So we were in Florida for the first vacation I've had in a long time. And then this past weekend was George's robotics competition. So I have not had a chance to do anything at all. So the last time I streamed is the last time I sewed. So I'm excited to get sewing again. So first step. Oh, and then what I was saying. So one camera. So because of that, I haven't been around, so I haven't had a chance to play with my husband's computer, who I'm going to steal it. And when I steal it, I'm going to see if I can go back to the 2-camera thing. Because I can't have any guests until I have 2 cameras. So I really want to try to get that finished. Alright, so we're down to a 1 camera. So I positioned it in a way that where you can see me sewing, ironing, and cutting all at the same time. Although I don't know how well it's going to work. So we'll see. We'll see how this works. Alright, so let me get these cuts. It's easier when I do all my cuts for my fabric. Instead of cutting, oh, I should just cut the big long one. I'll just make it easier. Yeah, it's lined up already. Alright, so I'll use my long one. Does that light bother? No, it's fine, okay. This way I have more light when I'm cutting. Okay, so these are 42 inches, 3, I'm going to cut 2 for now. Because they're going to go on the left and right of the middle one, the left of the left ones, and the right of the right ones. Okay. What I'm doing is I'm cutting 3.5 inch strips because we have to have the seam allowance in there. And the 3 in there, I'm going to put 1 here and here on each of the center ones, 1 here on the left ones, and 1 here on the right ones. So, cutting the initial one to make sure that everything is all lined up. Oops, that got cut crooked. So, there we go. You've been working on your... Oh, okay, so what kind of Canadian slang do you now know, Doug? Oh, speaking of, if you look through the Florida pictures, did you see the picture of them with the Mountie? They have an area at Universal where it's the cartoon, and they had, I'm trying to think of the old Canadian, Dudley Do-Right. Yeah, so they had the Dudley Do-Right cut out, so I made the 2 of them stand in front of it for a picture. One. How big are they? 15. Alright, so I can probably only get 2 per. Yeah, because it's 45. Sorry, I'm doing my math. Okay, so 44. Maybe. Let me see. Let me iron this and see how many I can get. I actually have no clue what skookum means. I don't know a lot of Canadian slang. So, what does skookum mean? Oh, that's lovely. While I was gone, a bug died in my water. Let me pour this in there, and as the bug gets close, I will There we go. That's gone. I've never had that happen. That's what happens when you're gone for a week, right? Great, fantastic. Oh, okay. I may have to use that in a conversation then. Alright. I'm just going to fold this aside for now. Alright, so this is C3, so this needs to go on the right-hand side. Now, I'm lining this up a little differently than I normally do. Normally the sashing goes, I line it on top with the right side of the right side. In this case, I'm lining it up, the sashing down and the panel on top, because I want to make sure when I sew it, I sew along this line right here, because I don't want any of the white showing. And I know this is a perfect 1/4 inch. And what I'm doing right now is making sure I can get 3 out of each strip. If not, if I can only get 2, I'm going to be wasting a lot of this fabric. Go. Have you figured out any other slings yet? I mean, obviously there's A. And A is used as an affirmation. So kind of like if you, as you're talking to someone, if you say right, like, oh yeah, right. That's how they use A. I still haven't said it though. My husband keeps trying to get me to say it. I don't. I will not say A. Okay, so there's one. I'm going to set these here. Okay. Wait, what does keener mean? Okay, C2. Gets it on both sides. Nerd, brown nerd, and geek. Oh, nerd, brown nose. Brown nose is the same thing as a nerd? Oh, I know what kerfuffle is. Oh, look at that. It looks like that's perfect. I can get 3 out of each one. Fantastic. Is it commotion or fuse? Yeah. Well, actually, I've said kerfuffle in the States, too. I didn't realize it was originally Canadian slang. See, so you know more Canadian slang than I do, and I live in Canada. There's, oh my god, Doug, you would love this show. It is the stupidest thing, and I hate it. Letterkenny. Look it up if you get a chance. My husband and Jordan are obsessed with that show, and Jordan's mom loves it too. She keeps sending her, like, all of these quotes from the show. It's about a little town somewhere in Canada that has, yeah, I don't know the terms. Hockey players, druggies, and hicks. Hicks? Something and so, yeah, I don't know. They got, yeah.
It's shot in Sudbury.
What? Oh, it's shot in Sudbury. Okay, and what is it, Jordan? What are the 3 classes?
Skids.
Skids, hicks, and
Hockey players.
hockey players. Okay, so there's no, like, derogatory term for the hockey players?
No.
Okay.
I don't think
So you have hicks. It's called Letterkenny. it hicks, skids, and hockey players. So this entire town, you're either a hick, you're a skid, or you're a hockey player. And skids are basically almost like druggies. Yeah. So her and her father are freaking obsessed with the show, and it's the stupidest show. Like Michael sit and play it for me and make me watch it, and I'll roll my eyes and be like, really?
Pitter patter.
Yeah, that's another thing that they do. They say pitter patter, get at her, or I don't know. Let's see, yeah, you hear giggling, right? Go do your homework. All right, eat dinner, then do your homework. Unless you want to help me with the Final Fantasy quilt. Okay. All right, so I know I can get 3 sashings out of each one. So I've still got, I had 2. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I need 1, 2. I need 3 more strips at 3.5 inches because my sashing is going to be 3 inches, and I have to have my 1/4 inch. Letter Kenny, Kenny. Yeah, I don't think you can watch it in the States unless you stream it. Like I know Mike found it on Kodi. So if you have a Kodi box, you can stream it. Yeah, and it's one of those stupid shows that I'm like, really? And I roll my eyes at it. Okay, alright, let me move this up. Alright, so we need a small one. Come on. There we go. Yeah, that's what I figured. If you find it, if it's something you like, I figured you'd have your ways of watching it. I think you've told me that joke before, but it's still funny. So my goal this week is to get this one done. I'm going to get the Final Fantasy top done, and I'm hoping to get the Hyrulean crest done because I've got time scheduled at the Family Center Monday to get everything pinned because I would really like to have them done before I go to C2E2. And then that way, if the gentleman who commissioned the Final Fantasy quilt wants it, I can ship it from Chicago and actually have it be less money. Oh, I forgot to check. Alright, so this is C1, so it's a good thing I checked. So C1, I only want on the left-hand side. Oh, and I forgot to, so this is how I always keep my panels straight. So when I do t-shirt quilts or panels, I put on here the letter and number. So in this case, it's C, so it's row C, panel number 1. And then that way, as I'm sewing and I'm really getting into it, I don't mix them up. Because I lay it out and I have them in a certain order, so I really don't want to mix it. Unlike last Saturday, whenever I did the charity quilt, it was a I Spy quilt, so I did 2 different ones, and we actually haven't been getting a fence room. Okay, chokin. Yeah, no, I have no clue what that is either. I think you're finding a bunch of slang that the kids use or something. Like, George uses some slang stuff, and I'm just like, really? Alright, let's do this one. Go. Okay. I think it's almost time for me to change my rotary blade. Yeah, no, sorry. I'm old, remember? I don't know a lot of these things. Alright, so B3, it's going to be on the right-hand side. Yeah, I'm not hip with the slang and yeah. Okay. Yeah, what's funny is that I know you're looking these up and you're just copy and pasting them online. So you can't say that you're hip with it either. Alright, and B1 is going to be on the left. Okay. And see, all I'm doing now is attaching the right and the left sashings on. I'm not doing anything else. Yeah. Well, okay, my point is you don't know it, though. You're looking it up, right? But that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You're learning Canadian slang. Alright, B2 is the center. Oh yeah, and here is the center. Yeah, these pictures came out really well. The lady that I use, I love. Now, it's a little bit expensive, so this quilt is not that hard to make, but it was super expensive to get all of this printed, because this is not printing at home. This is a high-powered fabric printer that you can, so this is the same kind of printer that fabric manufacturers use. And all this lady does is print pictures and photos. So this is who I get all of my photo quilt fabric through. Now, this is also one that I could never, ever, ever sell at a convention or make a bunch of and sell, because these are screenshots from a game. So this is not something that you could make and sell at a convention, or else you are breaking copyright law. For a single commission, it is okay. So this is the only time that I'm going to make this quilt. So this quilt, the pictures will not go onto my website, just like with the GameCube quilt that I made last time. The only time you're going to be able to find the picture of this quilt when it's finished, is on my social media. And, oh, you found them on the YouTube. Oh, that's cool. So I assume he's Canadian? Oh, and I did also forget the fabric that I'm using for the sashing and for the borders is the Moda marbles. So this one is gray, and then the other one is just black. Just the black marble. I use the Moda marbles in most of the quilts I do nowadays, just because I love them so much. It's a great fabric. Okay, so 3 is on the right. From his toque to his swampers. Is that how you spell toque? I thought it was Tuque. I may be wrong. Okay, and then A2 is on both sides. Now, once I get all of the sashing finished, and then I'm going to assemble the rows together. Once the rows are together, then I start adding on the sashing in the top and the bottom. Once that's done, then I start adding borders. Hello, Soleil. Do you want to come be in the camera? Come here. Come here. Come here, Soleil. Come here. Right here. All right, up. Sit. Be a good girl. I know, you're such a good girl. You're a good girl. You're very cute. And I know you want something, but you can't right now because you're on medicine. Yes, you can't. I can't give you anything special. You can still look cute, though. This is so weird. I keep looking that way because that's where I've got all of the chat and everything. And I'm used to the camera being right where the chat is. I'm not used to it being over there. Now these panels, when I start sewing them, are going to get completely out of order. That's another reason why I put all of my rows and my numbers in. There we go. So those are all done. Okay, you gotta get down, Soleil. I know, you're a good girl. Alright, go lay down. Alright. I think I've got everything set up. No. Apparently the cat restarted my machine as well. Alright. Let's go that way. There. Okay, that's good. Now, let me get rid of my drink. Okay, so making sure I've got everything set up. Fantastic. Okay. Alright, now what I'm going to do when I'm sewing this, so I have my sashing and my panel, and they're face to face. I'm actually going to sew it this way because this line right here, like I said earlier, I'm going to sew across that line. So I'm actually going to sew a little slower than I normally sew. Now I may go deeper over that line, so a little bit more than a 1/4 inch, but I definitely have to make sure I at least hit the line or go a little over, because I don't want any of the white showing at all. Now in this case I have 2 sides. It's hard to see that one. There it is. So as I finish them, I'm going to remove the pins and just set them over here for ironing. So the ones that are 2-sided, I have to actually put one in between it. Making sure everything lines up. Alright, take the pins out and set it over there. Now, I'm not going to be easy to see in the camera, but if you could see the thread, you would see that my line goes right along that part. So when I iron it and open it, I'm not going to see any of that white. just realized I don't have the music going. I was like, why is it so quiet? Whenever I sew, if I'm not streaming, or before I streamed, I normally would just put on Netflix and just sit and watch show after show. And this is the last one. Alright, now if I did this right, which I'll find out in the next step, there should be no white from those borders showing for the seam allowance. Okay, next step. Let's iron everything. I'm going to iron it, and then I'm going to trim the edges. Okay, so that one turned out pretty good. There's no white on there. That's good. Those are good. Okay, I'll lay them right there. Alright, that one looks good. Now some of them I trimmed so nicely whenever I was first laying them out that I actually don't have to retrim it. It seems like just the selvage area that I have to trim. Although there may be one or two other places where I will have to retrim it. Now I am making sure when I lay them out over here that they're all facing the same direction, because that's just going to set me up for the next step, which is combining it all together. Now, and normally whenever I'm working on one of my patterns, I talk about how important it is to make sure that your seams are facing the correct direction. Whenever you're doing stashing, doesn't make a difference. So it's easier for me just to iron the seams out. So that's what I do. Yeah, sashing and most of the time borders does not make a difference which way your seams point. It's only whenever you're lining up multiple rows do you have to worry about that. And I am looking to make sure I'm picking up all the C's, and now I'm picking up all the B's, because I do want them to kind of be, you know, grouped together. I think, yep, I don't even have to trim that one. Great. So they were already grouped together. That's good. It looked good, but I wanted to double check it just to make sure. That one needs trimmed. It is important, even though it's a little bit, that you trim to make sure that they're perfectly lined up, because if you have extra fabric in there, whenever you're trying to add on the next part of the sashing, it's going to get in the way and it's going to bunch up. So not only is it going to cause problems whenever you are adding on the extra sashing, but it's going to cause problems whenever you actually go to quilt it. Whenever I first started to quilt, I actually didn't trim these edges. I'm like, why take the time to trim them? Yeah, I learned whenever I went to quilt it for the first time, it was a pain. I had big, bulky areas. Now, you may notice, after I did my trim, you see a little bit of the selvage here in the bottom. Perfectly fine. Nothing wrong against the selvage, and that's in the area that it's going to get sewn into the next part of the sashing, so you won't see that. Okay, so these are all trimmed. So now we'll do our pinning. Now the reason why I added the sashing to each side of the center is I have set myself up for an easier time for this next step. So this is A2, so I'm going to take A3 and just lay it right on cross. Because remember, I want to sew with this side up so I can follow along these lines to make sure that my seams are perfect. Okay, and now I've got that on there. I'm going to flip it to the other side and take A1 and lay it down on the other side. And because I have more fabric in the center, these two panels on the other side are not getting in each other's way. And I'll show you what I mean after I finish pinning this. There we go. Here, I have them laid out. So these pins and these pins are not being covered by the other panel. So there's my first row. Okay, 3. Still shaking my head about the cat whenever I came down. Move that down just a little more room. That way. The nice thing about following along the lines as well is, Marley, leave the cat alone. I almost put that upside down, but because I have my sashing on that side and at this side, I automatically corrected myself. That no, that's not right. I need to attach a piece that has no sashing to a piece that has sashing. There we go. And got row 2. Marley! Shush! The cat does not want to play with you. I think he would get an idea, right? Marley! So we had a sitter watch Marley and Soleil, and Alfred went to Mike's mother's. Row 3. We were concerned about Marley because, I know, baby, because he has issues with people. He's still very afraid, but he loves other dogs. Well, the sitter that watched them is a foster for a rescue, and she's a groomer, and she does doggy daycare. So we went to pick him up on Friday. Yeah, he didn't want to go home. He loved it so much. She kept posting up pictures of him playing with the other dogs, and yeah. He had such a good time. Now I'm going to set this one aside because they all have to be sewn on both sides. So I'm going to sew all of them the one side first, and then go back and sew the other side. There we go. That's all three. While I'm taking the pins out, I'm double checking just to make sure that I did sew across those lines. So you're not going to be able to see the white. And if for some reason I missed some of it and I sewed in the white so you could see it, I would have to just run it back through again. Because you can always re-sew something. Alright, this is row 3. Again, does not make a difference which way the seams point. So I'm just going to make it easy on myself and do them both the same direction. Alright, and there's row 3. All finished. Alright, so before I iron the next, I'm going to check to see how long this is, to see if I have to sew any of the strips together. So the top and the bottom of each one is going to be 6 inches, meaning I'm going to cut it 6.5, including the seam allowance. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to sew some together. No, my music stopped for some reason. Alright, so this is 18 1/4 times 4. So 18 1/4 times 4, 73 inches. So fabric's about 40 inches. So I'm just going to cut 2 and sew 2 together. So it'd be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 strips of 6 inches is what I'm cutting. Yeah. And then I'll do the same thing for the 4 inches for the black. Okay. Okay, and here is row 2. If I can hold it up. It was funny, last Saturday when I was doing the charity event for my quilt guild, I didn't bring my iron like I normally do. And so I was using the regular iron that the quilt guild has. I kept wanting to put it over and let go. Yeah, that would have been good. I would have burned something. Okay, so I said I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I need to cut 12 strips of 6.5. Okay, so this only goes to 6. So I'm going to do it the old school way that I do it. And fold it over. Alright, so I'm not going to need that for bits. And even though I know it was straight here, because I'm cutting it a different way, I'm folding it over again to recut it. I have to cut a strip off the end, just to make sure everything is all squared up. Alright, so I need 12 of these. Here's 1. 2. 3. Before you make any cuts, you always make sure that everything is perfectly smoothed out and lined up. It just makes it for easier cutting. 4. 5. And something that I've learned, you notice after I make my cuts, and I move it down for the next set of cuts, I lay them on top of each other. This isn't just to keep it organized and nice. I make a lot of mistakes. You know that? So one of the mistakes that I do sometimes is I make wrong cuts. So I could cut at 6, I could cut at 7. This makes sure that I'm cutting them all the same exact size, which I assume is 6.5 because they are all the same size. So all 12 of my strips will actually get cut all the way down, so they'll be all lined up. Okay, so that is 6. So I need 6 more. One, 2, 3, 'Oh, so next week starts softball season for my husband. Meaning, depending upon his schedule on Tuesdays, I may or may not stream. He is on 1, 2, 3, 4 teams this year. That's it, maybe 3. I like 3 teams. Tuesday, Thursday. No, 4 teams. Yeah, it's 4 teams. So the Tuesday team, I always go to all the games, just because I love those guys. I love watching them play. That is the old man ball. So that is the over 35 league. So those guys are a lot of fun. Yeah, I don't know why it stopped. There we go. And that is all of the gray cuts for now. Okay. Now I talked when I did the borders for the GameCube about the differences in combining the borders for the fabrics. In this case, this is sashing. It's not a big deal if they are put together diagonally or straight on. So I'm going to put them on straight on. Sorry, I wasn't quite lined up. You okay? Okay. Oh, the dog's coughing. pinned together. Oh, I just realized you couldn't see my strips on the left-hand side. So you can't see all my little groupings of all of my 6.5-inch strips. Alright, I have 6 long strips ready to go. Now I am going to iron the entire strip because I did not iron those little seams out before I sewed them together. Not seams, the little markings on the fabric where the folds are. Again, it does not make a difference which way you iron the seam. Okay, there's one. And I'm just going to iron them all at once. Two. Three. Alright, I'll see you later, Doug. Thanks for coming by. I'm streaming until 8:30 tonight, or whenever I get this finished. So if it takes me longer, it takes me longer. And of course, this will be up on YouTube tomorrow. 5. And 6. Alright, now, according to my pattern, I have a strip on the top and the bottom of every single row. So I'm just going to take each row and put the top and the bottom on. Just to make it even, I'm going to take that seam and I'm going to put it right near the middle of where I think the middle is. And I'm going to work out from there. Yeah, get rid of this one. And again, the more pins, the merrier. You want to make sure that this is going to stay in place. And then, when I reach the end, and I'm going to start from the left, and I'm just going to fold it. It's going to make it easier when I'm sewing it, that I don't have this big thing. Although, I just remembered that, no, I've got to do both sides. So, it doesn't make a difference. I'm not going to fold it up yet. Let me do the other side first. Okay, and again, I'm going to start in the middle. I'm finding this middle seam here, and I'm lining it up with my other middle seam. Now I'm not, you may see me using the scissors, I'm not following just along that seam. I'm going near it, but that's it. Now, I'm going to fold it up and roll it. Alright, and I have a row finished. I just need to sew it. There is one done. Okay, same thing. I'm finding what I think the middle is, and I'm putting my seam there. And then working out from the center. Okay. Hair's starting to get in the way. And I'm lining, again, like I did with the first row, I'm finding where that seam is, and I'm lining the bottom up with the top. Last row. Last 6-inch gray strip. So again, I'm finding the middle seam from the top, lining it up with the bottom. There we go. It really doesn't make a difference where those seams line up. It's just more aesthetically pleasing if they do. There we go. All 3 are done. Oh. And just like I did with the sashing, because all 3 rows have, no shoot, I did that wrong. I want to be looking at the other side because I want to be looking at those white stripes. So let's start this again. Anyway, so I've got fabric on both sides. Yeah, it's a good thing because I missed it right there. So I'm going to run each of them one side and then go back and run them each a second time for the other side. Alright. Sit that right there. Oh, there's two. And I'm just going to set this to the side after I trim the thread. Now remember, I can have more than a 1/4 inch, but I can't have less than a 1/4 inch. If I go less than a 1/4 inch, you're going to see some of that white that's the 1/4 inch seam around the panel. This is also the same exact technique that I used to make the charity quilts for the Sprite Stitch donations to the Child's Play auction in October, November. I missed and went under a 1/4 inch. So I'm just going to resew the area. There we go. Alright, now let me flip it and do the other side of this one. Did it again. These longer ones are a little harder to make sure the seam is good. There we go. You can always add more of a seam. You can't add less of a seam. So if your seam isn't enough, just sew it again. If for some reason you sewed it wrong or you have too much of a seam, then you have to seam rip it. And I'm crossing my fingers. I don't need my seam ripper today because it is upstairs in my hand sewing. I really don't want to go up and get it. Although so far, so good. Whoops. I missed some pins here. So I just have to be careful and line it up right. And I'm out of bobbin thread. Just trying to remember where I put my extra bobbins. And they're still in my bag from the charity sewing last Saturday. Oops. I'm just dropping everything today. Oops, wrong way. Alright, that one's done. That one's done. Last but not least. I was looking to see how big my black ones are going to be. I'm thinking it may be less of a waste if I do the right borders first on the edges, and then just thinking. Planning out how I'm doing the next step. Alright. Yeah, I think I'm going to add the black onto the edges first. Onto the left and the right of each row. And then when I add on the strips, that waste that you saw me cut off, I should be able to use exactly that much for 2 strips. Although I know I fit 3 with that. There's no way I'm going to fit 3. I can probably fit 2. You know what? I'm going to wait and decide after I iron them. I'm going to measure how much this is and see which way is going to be the least amount of waste. Oops. So the gentleman that commissioned this quilt, I actually gave him an option of a couple of different colors to use for the sashing. I like the one he picked. I think this gray really brings out a lot of these colors. And I think the black is going to really, the black borders around it is really going to help it pop with the lettering. All right, let's iron this. Now, if for some reason, as I'm ironing this, if any of the white appears, I can iron it back into place and then re-sew it. Yeah, this gray works out really nice. Come on. Yeah, I think that gray looks really nice on there. Okay, so let's push that in. I'm going to trim the edges, and then I will measure it and make a decision about how I'm doing the black. Okay. No, that's too wide. It's 56. It's 26 wide, 26 and a half wide. So it's going to use about 65% of a strip of fabric. Yeah, it's probably better to do it the way that I did this. So do the strips across of the black like I originally planned, and then do the left and right down. Alright, well, it's worth a try. Alright, so there's one of them. I'll start sewing the black together. I'll cut it out and start sewing it together after I finish ironing and trimming all of these. Even though there's a little bit more waste this way, it'll look nicer. It'll be more uniform. If they were only 20 instead of 25 and a half, even 22, I could push it, but not 25, 26 and a half. Oh, the math of quilting. Oops. Oh, I only did the one side. I was like, that was pretty quick. There we go. Here is the first row. And with how the gray sashing looks with it. Okay, another row. Last one. Obviously, I'm not pinning this until next Monday, but I am going to bring this top to my quilt guild to show it off. I've had a couple of ladies there ask about the process of the photo quilts with getting the pictures printed nicely onto the fabric at a good high quality. There's a couple of ways that you can do. They have photo fabric that you can actually put into your printer and print out yourself, but unless you pre-treat it and actually go through a process that protects it, it's going to wash right out the first time you wash it. It'll fade away. So you actually have to use the Scotch Guard and a bunch of other things to really lock it in. The technique that she uses for these this photo fabric is different. Like I said, it's the same kind of printer as fabric companies use. So this will wash perfectly fine. So it's bigger. Obviously, I can't make a panel this big and with my printer. So it's not only bigger and nicer, but I don't have to worry about my customers washing their quilts and having it fade and having it not look as nice. I made 2 photo pillows and apparently before a couple of years ago, and apparently didn't Scotch Guard them enough whenever I had printed it out myself on my printer. Oh, this is the second row with the gray. So I didn't Scotch Guard it well enough, and whenever they washed the pillow, it actually faded a bit. So that wasn't good. Alright, now I'm moving these over, and it's time to cut the black. Alright, so all of my rows, I have the gray around all the rows. Now I'm going to do the black for the top, middles, and bottom. So I need 4 rows of 4 inches, and I still need 2 strips per row. Vaporman, hey Vaporman, how are you? So I need to cut, because I have 4 rows of the black, I'm going to cut 2 apiece, so that's 8. 4 inch plus the seam allowance, so I'm cutting 8 4.5 inch strips. And got a little hair on there. Alright, and they are 4, so I can use my long one. So we use my long roller. It looks like it is lined up. Alright, so 4.5 inches. Yep, it's lined up. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm doing 8. There's 1. 2. 3. 4. So I have our Paperman. I've already finished assembling the actual rows. So I have all 3 of the rows together, and I have all the stashing around it. Now I'm working on the black borders that go above and below all the rows. So I put the mock-up picture in the bottom right-hand corner so you can see the general idea of what I'm doing. 2, 3. 2. 3. 4. Alright, set the black aside. I will still need that for the left and the right of the quilts. See, great. I am looking forward to seeing if the new computer allows me to do 2 cameras again. Because I hate working back here and not having the camera there to show you what I'm doing. It's hard to see. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, yes. And I know I have counted this 3 times already, but I make mistakes. A lot of them. So I've got to continually recount just to make sure. Two. So I'm thinking next Monday night or Tuesday night will be quilting night, where I quilt this one and hopefully the Hyrulean shield that I start tomorrow. I'll have that top done and I can have it pinned and I can get that one quilted as well. And then if I get that done, the next night, of course, will be binding night. Alright, now I'm going to put these black rows onto my rows of panels. I have 4 of them. So what I'll probably do is the top row, I'll put it on the top and the bottom. And then the second and third ones, I'll put them on the bottom. Or you know what would be better? I think I'm going to do it the same way I did these. The top one I'm going to put on the top, the bottom I'll put on the bottom, and the middle one I'll put on there. And then that way I can fold these over, and have just one big strip there. I'll do it that way. Yep, that's easier. It's 2. But luckily these strips aren't as big. And then my final border that goes all the way around, so these are 4 inches. My final border that goes all the way around, I'm having as 2 inches. So whenever I did the GameCube quilt a few weeks ago, I talked about whenever you do borders and sashing, it all has to relate, and it all has to be a relative of each other, which is why I did 6 inches for the gray, 4 for the black, and then 2 for the outer border. So the only exception is then the 3, so it's kind of like 2, 3, 4. See, it's all relative to each other, and the math all lines up, so this quilt will actually be a little bigger than a normal size queen that I make. It's always better to do a little bigger instead of a little smaller, because you want to make sure that it fits your bed, right? Oh, I guess my husband's home. Alright, I've got those done. Yes, he's home. Alright, so this is, oh, that's easy. This is the second row. So, setting all that aside. Let's stick. So this is the one that's going to get it on the top and the bottom. Now, in this case, I put the gray on there, I put 2 strips on there, and I put that seam in the center. Now, I'm going to take this seam, and I'm actually going to have it go the opposite direction of the gray seam. So it's going to line up nicely, and then pin it into place. And just like I did with the gray, I am going to work from the center out. There we go. And just put my scissors over there. Oh, excuse me. I have something in my studio that's aggravating my allergies. I have no clue what it is. Hey.
How goes the stream?
Good. Health is good. Video is good. Everything's
camera?
good. One camera. Yeah, I told them at the beginning of the stream that hopefully we'll play around with the other computer this weekend. So I may be able to go back to 2 cameras next week, but nah, it may just be stuck with 1 camera.
Yeah, I got an exhibition game on Sunday.
Okay.
Joy to the world. Oh, get better. Let's get at her. Oh,
You know I'm streaming.
Joy to the vision in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me. Joy.
And again, this is the second row, so I am putting the black on the top and the bottom. The other 2 rows, I will just put it on the top or the bottom. And I do want to sew this one first because I do have it on both sides. So just like I did with the gray, I'll sew the one side, sew the singles, and then go back and sew the other side. Okay, so, because I'm doing this one first, I'm going to move these to the side. and set it on the machine. Alright, so this is row A. So, putting this on the top. Oops, forgot I'm starting with the middle. There we go. Did I cover my pen? I did. Come on, Tony. Okay, that one's good. And then now this should be row 3. Yep. And on row 3, I'm putting it on the bottom. I'm using my last strip. I like it when things come out the way I plan them. Hi, Iron Bands Graham. How are you? I am making a Final Fantasy quilt using photo panels of screenshots from the game. So, the gentleman that commissioned this one initially came to me and said, hey, so I like Final Fantasy IX, and I love the screen captures where it says sorrow, despair, all of the other emotions, solitude, arrogance, things like that. and could you possibly take all that and pixelate it? And I went, no, way too complicated, it would be way, way, way too big, even though he wanted a queen size quilt. So then what normally happens when I say no to someone is my mind gets thinking about how could I do this, and I thought, you know what? I bet if he got a high enough resolution of these screenshots, the person that I use for my photo quilts to print all that out could probably print them onto panels. And sure enough, she did. So the picture in the bottom right is the mock-up that I have. He picked the gray for the sashing, and then I've got black for the borders, although that mock-up's pretty bad. But no, the panels turned out pretty good. So I've got all the sashing on now, so now I'm just adding all the borders. And then once I get the black borders on, I'll do another one. And I did it, I had to add more onto the top to the bottom because the panels are wider than they are long. So I did 3-inch sashing between them, 6-inch sashing on the top and bottom, and then 4-inch sashing that I'm doing now with the black. Well, 4-inch borders with the black, and then I'll do a 2-inch border with the gray around. So I am back for 2 weeks, and then I'm gone for a week for C2E2. I have had a couple, oh, I did it again, didn't I? I want to sew it. Oh, no, it doesn't make a difference for this one. I forgot. Fantastic. I don't have to worry about the panels if they are sewed right. Anyways, I've had a couple of requests to stream while I set up for conventions. So I'm going to try to set it up at C2E2 and actually stream while we build my big display and hang everything. So if you're interested, you can see the process that goes into setting up a booth at a convention. So because I've gone, I haven't been able to pop over to your stream. What have you made in the past 2 weeks? Oh, yes. Yeah, so you know what goes into everything with that. It's funny, whenever people look at I call it my big monstrosity, because it's huge. They look at that and they go, oh, wow, that looks cool. They don't understand how much work goes into building it. Oh, that's cool. I'm going to have to try to pop over and watch one of your streams this week. Alright, there's one row. This way. Now after I that's so cool. I'm trying to think. I was like, no, I don't know who's teaching that. I was thinking of the watercolor flower. Andrea Brokenshire just did is teaching a class, I think, this weekend about how you can paint the flowers that she does and the techniques, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Originally, I was supposed to be going to Quilt show, not market, festival, Quilt festival in Chicago this weekend. But after going on vacation for a week, I am so behind on everything, and there's things that I have to get done. Like I have to get this quilt done, and I have to get another quilt done before I go to C2E2 in 2 weeks, in case they want them, then I can ship it from Chicago, and it's less expensive than shipping it from Canada. So I'm not going to festival. But I'll go to market in May, so I'm looking forward to that. It's right after one of my conventions, too. I'm doing the Virginia Comic Con, and then market's the next weekend. So I'll have to catch one of your streams next week then. Tomorrow, I'm going to start on the Hyrulean Shield, the link quilt. Really excited about that one. It's a queen size quilt. It's all pixelated. So that one's going to take me a minimum 2 or 3 days. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I saw a bunch of the stuff that was at Market in Houston was going to be at Festival. The one quilt that you have that we were looked up that you showed me with the portrait. It's so cool with the embroidery. Embroidery is one of those things where you have to really have a certain talent for it, and I don't have that talent. I am no good at digitizing stuff, and I do not have an artistic bone in my body. I suck at drawing and art and design and all that other stuff, which is why I need Nicole's help for all of my pixelated stuff. I was super proud though, because at Market, the St. Louis Market, I did a piece for a line of fabric that's being released, a small wall quilt. Yeah. I actually digitized and everything myself, and I was so proud. I was like, hey, it actually is okay. Alright. That one. And that's another one I've got to get done, but I can't do that on the stream because it is a secret project. Oops. All right. Now with the borders, the black borders, again, it doesn't make a difference which way you press these seams because they're not going to be lining up with any other seams. So I always just press them away to make it easy. Now after I get these pressed and trimmed, then I get to finally assemble all the rows. Oh, that stinks. I hate it whenever it storms and you're trying to do something online because you can't guarantee it's going to be good. It's like, as you notice, I've gone to a single camera system. It's because with the new Microsoft update, apparently my cameras got an update on the drivers, and my laptop can no longer handle 2 cameras at once. So I may steal my husband's computer. We're going to play with it this weekend. See if we can get it working with 2 cameras on his computer, because he's got a much better, more powerful computer than I do. And if it works, I'll go back to a 2-camera system so you can see what I'm working on at the cutting table as well as on the machine. Right. Yeah, and it happens like thunderstorms. I mean, there's nothing you can do. It's all technology. We learn as we go, right? That's the I got the initial mock-ups of my page layout and my my stream offline, my the picture, the logo that I'm going to put up and everything. The graphic designer that's doing it all for me did an initial mock-up and showed it to me right before I went on vacation, and I cannot wait for it to be done. It looks so cool. Okay. Alright, let me get these trimmed. And then I can assemble my rows. Oh. I only ironed the one side. I know you had mentioned that you wanted to get a new layout and stuff like that. The guy that's doing mine is Art by Saint. Oops, I knocked over the microphone. Sorry about that. I followed him, if you're interested at all, to take a look at his stuff to see what he charges and everything. I was a little afraid that he was going to make my stuff bold and out there and, you know, like a lot of the video game streamers, kind of, you know, bright, bold, in-your-face stuff. But he actually made it really subtle and minimalist. So I was super happy with it. He does logo design work too, but I already have a logo, so I didn't need that. There we go. Probably gonna have to get some more water. middle. Oh, cool. I'm going to have to look at your videos, the past video, just to check it out and see what you went with. Right. Oops. I'm going to set that there. See, again, I have no artistic bone in my body at all. I can't even think about what kind of overlay that I could do. I mean, what you see there is what I came up with. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go look at that. That sounds awesome. Alright, these are all trimmed. Stay. Stay. Alright, so I need my middle again. So, again, I put the black on the top and the bottom of my center panel, so it's super easy for me to just lay them both out at the same time for efficiency. So this is C, right? Yep. This is row C, so row C is going to lay on row B. Now, my seams for the center should line up nicely. And they do. So hopefully, if I did this correct, this should line up. Nope, of course it doesn't. Is it because my center's not quite center? Yep, my center's not quite center. That's okay. I knew that was a chance because I eyeballed it and I didn't measure it. Alright, so I'll work from the left to the right. Hey, Mike or Jord. They're gonna ignore me. Because they know I'm gonna ask them for something. That lines up, nice. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. I think it's off by a little bit. Yeah, I'm off. Yep, start over again. My left is off. Alright, let's try this again. There we go. got to be super careful not to stretch either the top or the bottom fabric, because this is actually the most crucial point of this entire quilt, is making sure these rows line up. Nice, that's perfect on the right. Okay, that's finally lined up. Good. Go. Perfect. There we go. Alright, so I've got 2 of them pinned together. Now I need to do the other side. And then I have to do the black borders on the right and the left after I sew these together. And then the small gray border that's going to go all the way around. And then I have made a quilt start to finish in one stream. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, this quilt is actually a super easy, super simple design. The expensive part, well, not just because it's a queen, but the expensive part of it is the cost of the photo fabric, of getting them printed out. So there is row A. So row A is going to go on next. And I'm just double checking. Yep. Again, I make a lot of mistakes. Just making sure that I'm putting it on there the correct direction. Make sure I did that one correctly. Yes, okay. Because I've actually flipped rows before. I flipped rows and panels and sewed them on backwards or upside down. Didn't realize it until after I'd actually sewed it. So if I realize these mistakes while I pin it, it'll be better. Oh, perfect. Fantastic. So I have to redo this one. This one is good as it is. Stretched a little bit of the gray fabric, so that's why I redid some of that. Alright, there we go, all pinned. Alright, so my rows are all together, and I can finally sew them. Oh. Hey, Mike or Jord? No, they're ignoring me. There we go. I have to go upstairs and get some water after I finish sewing this. Oh, wait. Just use this water. Right. Go. Castle on the Hill. I was watching the Saturday Night Live the other night with Ed Sheeran on, and he played the song, and I was like, I really like this song, but I had no clue what it was called. After I take these pins out, I can also take out all of my sticky notes that are pinned to the panels, telling me the order that everything is in. And I can double check everything, making sure that I sewed it all correctly. So, A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3. Fantastic. That makes me happy. Awesome. All right. Would it help if I took the cap off? I was wondering why it wasn't pouring in. Okay. Again, it doesn't make a difference which way these seams point, because oops, they are just getting sewn to other pieces of fabric where the seams are not going to match up. So I'm ironing it away from my center because that is the easiest. Flip it. Queen size quilts are such a pain. When my grandmother was alive and she quilted, I remember when I was young, she would only ever make double-sized quilts. And of course she would make the tops, she would machine make them, but then when it was time to quilt it, she would hand quilt it. So when I got married the first time, she made me a double-sized wedding, a double wedding ring quilt. And I remember asking her why she didn't make me a queen or king because we had a king-size bed. And she looked at me, and I don't remember if she just didn't answer or if she said something that I don't remember, but now that I quilt, yeah, I completely understand why she only ever did double-sized quilts. Okay. Let's measure this and see how long these two side strips need to be. I couldn't see, and I actually, if you look at my site for the pricing, I do not even give a general price range for king, because, yeah. Now, king size t-shirt quilts I will do, because even though they're super big and it's such a pain, it's easy to assemble. But a king size pixelated quilt, yeah, somebody better give me enough money to make it worth my while, or else I am not doing it. Queen is big enough. Alright, so it's 23.25 times 4, so these are 94 inches long on both sides. So, 40, 80, so it's 2.5 strips per side. And I'm making them 4 plus the seam allowance, 4.5. So, I need 5 strips of 4.5. Right. See, and even with a long arm, I could imagine that it's still tough to do. I mean, imagine me running, well, not this one. This is my super cheap piecing machine. But I'm going to quilt this queen size quilt on my regular home machine. Three. Oops. Get quick cut all the way. There it goes. 4 and 5, and that is it for the black. I can put you away. Oh, where do I want to put you? Let's put you in here. All right, so one of these is getting cut in half. I'm doing 2.5. Wow, 122 by 122. I'm thinking the Alliance quilt that I've got upstairs that's king size. The only pixelated king size quilt that I made, and of course I flipped a piece and made a mistake on it. That's when I learned the hard way. You don't make big quilts and bring them to conventions. So I kept it for myself after it didn't sell for 2 years. That thing is 118 by 118, I think. Yeah, so it's definitely not 122. And even those extra 4 inches on either side, so 8 inches. Ugh. Yeah. I have nightmares sometimes about doing king size quilts. Oh, I have not mentioned it this stream yet. Wonder Woman pattern is almost done. She only needs to have a few finishing touches, and then she will go off to the printer. And then once she is at the printer, and I know everything looks good, I'm going to release the PDF version on Etsy and Craftsy. So I'm thinking sometime next week, because I need to make kits, and I have the kits available for C2E2. So yay, Wonder Woman's almost done. Or, I'm sorry, my Amazon Warrior is almost done. It's so big. Oh my god, stars from Jelly Roll. Yeah, I could imagine it won't fit on your frame. That's just... Ugh. That thing would give me nightmares. Like, seriously, that would get... That, yeah. I have a cheat sheet on my phone that tells me using standard 2-inch squares, so 1.5-inch finished squares, how many squares or pixels it is for a lap, twin, double, and queen, and then what the finished sizes for that general range would be. So I could tell someone, hey, a twin size quilt would be about this size. Well, I don't have anything for king on there at all. I have never done the math, never figured it out, don't want to. I am almost done. I might go over 8:30 though, because I still have one more set of orders. Oh, is that your daughter, Iron Band's grand? I was like, hi, mommy. I was like, my kid's upstairs. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, and of course, quilting is all math. See, that's what I thought at first. I'm like, okay, that is not my kid's handle. My kid's handle is Z Awesome Fish Sticks, I think. And hi, how are you? That's funny. She's stalking you, and this is watching what you're watching. Well, I am working on a Final Fantasy photo quilt. I am doing the last bit of borders right now. Oh, that's cool. So she's the one that told you to, hey, go stream on Twitch. For me, it was my husband. Thank you very much. Of course, I forgot to take the pins out of this one. Yeah, I am a video game comic book quilter. So 90% of my quilts have a video game or comic book theme. Okay, so all right, putting on the side borders now. Let's go. Oh, that's awesome. I love Destiny. We don't play a lot of video games as a family. We mostly tabletop game. So like we've been playing a lot of the new Ghostbusters tabletop game. And Mike, my husband, has been playing a lot of the new Zelda on the Switch that he bought me from our anniversary. So, of course, Jordan and I have been watching him play and helping him find shrines and seeds and... Yeah, if you tabletop game, if you haven't seen the new Ghostbusters by Cryptozoic, it's a cooperative one where your Ghostbusters level up and they keep the level throughout, so kind of like a Pathfinders, but then you work towards a goal of catching all of the ghosts and then doing the goals of that level. So it's pretty cool. Oh, hi, Kep. How are you? Okay. It is, what time is it here? It is 8 o'clock here, so I know it is late there in Turkey. So it's got to be like 2 a.m. or something there. Yeah, we've got a Switch and a PS4. I do. I do remember you. That's right, I have to speak a little slower whenever you're watching. I keep forgetting. So for everyone else, Kep is learning a lot, is learning English, and he, as you see, writes it really well. But for speaking, I have to talk slower to make sure that he catches it. I almost have one of the sides done. I may just stop after this first set of borders, just because they take so long. I'll let you guys look and decide if it needs another border. Although I won't be able to... It's actually,
What?
you probably mean sweet. S-W-E-E-T. Sweaty means I have sweat on me. No, I'm making a Final Fantasy quilt. If you look at the bottom right, you'll see a picture, and that's a general picture of what I'm doing.
I'll put Steve on.
Okay. Well, I told the vet today that I was probably going to bring him and Marley sometime this week anyways. Just as a checkup to make sure they're good. Hi, Marley. That's okay. See, I know that you're still getting a good handle on English. Oh, Mike, I may run over tonight for my stream because I want to make sure this gets done. It won't be by too much. It depends if I put another border on.
Honey,
I know, you don't care.
no. The more time we spend apart, the more I have a chance to miss
You guys get that? Good night, family of Guardians. Thank you for popping by. If you want to see the finished quilt, I should have pictures on my social media next week. I don't know a Galadriel. Thank you, though. I'm gonna have to look her up. Oh! Yes! I know who you're talking about. Thank you. Alright, let's sew these on. I'm trying to think who that actress is. I know who you're talking about. I'm going to text my kid and ask her to come down in a few minutes to help me hold this up. Oh, tell Iron Bands Graham, tell your daughter I just saw she followed me. Thank you very much, since I didn't tell her thank you when she was on. Oh, I just broke my thread. Dang it. Eat that. I was being so good about not breaking this thread. I hear her complaining as she's coming down. Thank you, hon. I said a few minutes, though. Almost ready for you. I just need to sew.
You said 4 a few minutes.
Oh, in a few. Did I say in a few minutes or 4?
I thought you said 4.
Oh, I meant in. That's okay. I just gotta sew the second side, and then iron the seams open, and then I will need your help to hold it up. And I'm gonna flip it so I can see the camera. So then that way, to see if it's okay the way it is, or if I have to add another border.
Yeah, my name is on Twitch is the awesome Christian.
Oh, did you hear me talking about that?
Yeah, we were watching it because we dropped the remote too.
So you had it on, and so you were watching whenever I said that? So you know what, so you saw
the
Iron
beginning.
Band's granddaughter come on and say, hi, Mommy, and I got all confused. See, I was right though. It's the awesome fish sticks, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The awesome.
This is a queen size quilt. It's a big one. That's why I need your help holding it up.
I decided.
Hi, Cap. I'm used to the camera over there. Hi, Cap. I just got your message on my social media. Okay. All right, let me take these pins out. Oh, the second one's over there. And then I need to iron the seams open. Thank you very much. Not sure what you mean. If I'm live for England. Do you mean where do I live? Yes, I live in Canada. All right. See what I mean? How big it is? And I did this all tonight. Oh, London, Ontario. Yes, I live in London. Yeah. The city I live in is London. So it's not England, it's Ontario. Yeah. So the city I live in, London, Ontario, is a lot smaller than London, England. And when I tell people that I live in London, I always have to say Canada because they think England. It is, it's about 2.5 hours. So it's near. He asked if we lived near Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
So it's about 2.5 hours. Almost done. Yep. Yeah, see, there's, we have the falls and rivers and lakes. It is about 6 or 7 hours to the sea if we do the Atlantic. Not if you go a straight shot.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So the gentleman I'm talking to, George, lives in Turkey.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
He just linked a couple of links so I can see pictures of where he's from. So after we're done with the stream, I'll go and I'll click on them and take a look. All right, ready to hold? Okay, so I need opinions. There are 3 people watching me. I need to know if you like this the way it is, or should I put another gray border around it?
Oh, wow.
All right, here. Here, you come hold and let me click this so I can see the camera.
Pin in my foot.
So I can look at it and give an opinion myself. All right, so there's that side.
I'm working on it.
Okay, hold it up. There you go. And, oh yeah, move, I need to move this way. Let me,
There's no easy way to do it.
No, there's not. There's definitely not an
If you
easy
did
way to do
a-
it.
180 on that. Do it near the stairs.
Yeah, that's how big this thing is. All right, so we've got that. Here, hold it down just a little bit. There we go.
Just a little bit.
All right, so there's the top. So here's the black border. Do you guys think that I should put a little bit of gray on the top as well? Or does that look okay the way it is?
Raising it?
Here, I'm going to move it over a little bit. We're going to show them this corner. Here, drop it down. So we can show them that corner. Drop, drop, drop. There you go. See? And see, there's that corner. Yep. And then here, let's do the bottom.
Oh, I thought we were doing the second one.
No, show the bottom.
I can't.
Yeah, this thing is huge. Okay, so there's the bottom corners.
There you go.
Okay. All right. Yes. Sure. Thank you for your help, honey. Yes. The binding is probably going to be black. So if I leave it like that, the binding will blend into the border. If I put a small gray border around it, then the binding will stand out a little bit. So the border I was going to do is just 2 inches. So it's not going to really add a lot of extra size to it. It was just an extra framing. That's why I'm torn. I'm like, I should, but I shouldn't. Oh, that's a good idea. No, Jordan is actually my stepdaughter. She is 14. 14. Yeah, she's 14. Thanks, Iron Bands, Graham. Okay, I'll do that. So I'll leave it like that. And it's so hard to show because it's so big. Fantastic, so I'm done. Yeah. Turn this off. That's actually a good idea. I'm going to do that. Use a gray border on it. And then I've got 3 different colors of the wide backing. So I will shoot him a message and ask him what he wants for the backing. I'm done.
Sweet. You're out.
Fantastic. I'm still streaming, though.
Cool.
You're in the camera now. I'm streaming.
Okay, I need your help.
Okay, what do you need my help with, hon?
I just need to put a cloth padding right here.
Okay. Oh, so you want me to sew or put something on there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, hold on. Let me look at it. Oh, so I see what you did.
Yeah, it's been glued 1,000 times, right? So I can just
All right, so you need foam padding.
I don't need foam padding. Or cloth would be fine, too.
Well, here. I've got extra binding. Or extra batting.
Will that itch the heck in my head?
No, feel it.
Alright, that's fine.
Yeah, this is what I put in quilts.
Yeah, that'll be good.
This is the extra stuff. All right, and I have fabric glue that'll make it perfectly stick. So how thick do you need it?
I don't need it thick at all.
All right, so you just want it. All right, well that's fine. I know. Doesn't he look like a Muslim? He's not. With his big beard. Kep is a Muslim. That's why he made that comment. Oh my gosh, that beard on your pitching helmet. It does. Your beard sticks out.
Alright. Yeah, so just...
Alright, so I will give it back to me. This is his softball helmet. So Mike is a pitcher in men's softball.
Slow pitch.
For slow pitch. But it's a very competitive league, so they hit really hard. And if the ball were to come back and hit him in the face, yeah, he'd be done.
Yeah.
So this just protects him.
Alright, take care of that for me?
Yes, I will. I will do it right now.
Alright, let me talk about shorts, too.
What?
I need to sew my shorts up. We already talked about that!
No, I'm going to use my batting. This is extra. So I'm not using this for anything. This is just extra batting. Alright. You know what? I'm going to use a piece that's... Here, I'm going to use this. I'm going to use that batting. No, I'm going to use the one I originally pulled out. It's nicer. This is all of my my extra batting stuff. I don't have any craft foam with me, so batting's fine. Alright, scissors. I'm not doing anything with your shorts.
I need your helmet shorts. Come on.
Alright, how big do you want this?
She said.
I have a family-friendly channel, Mike.
I don't need big. Look. I just need to cover, like, from here to here.
Oh, Kep says your beard is beautiful.
Yeah. I need to cover from here to here. That's all.
Okay.
You might have to double layer it, too, right?
Well, that's what I was asking. You said you don't need it thick. It's just the single.
See. That feels good.
Yeah. You look funny.
Feels good. It's gonna get sweaty and disgusting, though.
Oh, yes, and I can replace it. Alright, so that's good. No, he started growing his beard because he got lazy and didn't want to shave. And then as it grew, he decided he liked it, and now he grooms it.
It's very hip. It's very hip right now.
Yes, that's why you have a beard, because it's very in. It's not because you're lazy and don't want to shave. I will double it up for you. I just realized I can do that. Cyber Warrior Husband cosplay coming soon. That's awesome. Don't you dare come in front of the camera like that.
Why? I don't wear pants underneath.
Mike? He just put his sliding shorts on. Yeah, so my stream has now gone from quilting to fixing things for my husband. Alright, where is my fabric glue?
Yeah, that'd be good. These don't need to be done today, though.
Alright. No.
I can just try taping them around.
What?
How that hold it?
That is hemming tape, so you can do this yourself. So, you have to iron it. So what you do is you put it on the edge right here, okay? And then you just iron it around. Okay?
Will it work as a double layer there?
Yes. All it's going to do is it's going to glue that to that. And you can wash it and it won't come out.
Try it now.
I'm doing this.
Okay.
Yes, his name is Mike.
How do I take one off without...
Alright, move. Let me do that first. One thing at a time, honey. Here, go talk to my people. Or you can sit if you want. I'm just doing the fabric glue.
Joy to the world. All the boys and girls.
You know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to move this so in case anyone is interested, they can see what I am doing. So I've got no-sew fabric glue. I am just going to double layer this batting. So fabric glue glues not only a permanent bond for fabric to fabric, but a permanent bond for fabric to other materials. Now, once I glue this on there, you cannot put it on your head until tomorrow.
Sorry.
Okay? Here. While I pin your pants. That's exactly where you want them?
Yep, for now.
Well, you've got them bunched in the back.
Oh. Just needs a couple things, right?
That way. Turn. Alright, I was going to say the other way, but that's fine.
Joy to the world. All the boys and girls. Joy
Wait,
to
other
the
way. Other way. So the hemming tape I'm going to use on these shorts is the same hemming tape that I used for the t-shirt quilts. So if you watch the t-shirt quilt stream, I like,
So just cut them.
yes. That would be a lot easier.
Were they ripped though after that?
No, I can hem them. If you just cut them, I can fold them and sew along with a hemming stitch. You want to do that?
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh, no, Mike, I said hold it like this and
Okay,
shake it
sure.
upside down.
All right, yeah, take a minute.
Anyways, I was going to use the heat and bond tape. Mike, I'm talking. Stop. From the t-shirt quilt. So I had a bunch of polos that had an open top. So I had to make sure, okay, I've got them all up. I had to make sure that they were sealed before I did them. Yeah, this is for sports, for baseball.
It's really hard to cut these things.
Not with these scissors.
They have pads in them.
Yes.
How we cut it?
You can cut through them.
Should I put them on and then you cut around?
No, you cut them.
I don't know.
I'm not cutting them.
Okay, so I should put them on.
Here, I'm doing this. Yep. It is old man baseball, so it's slower. If you Google it, Google softball.
Slow pitch.
SOFTBALL.
If you
You have to talk slowly. With
I know, but if
with
you
them.
Google softball, you're gonna get the lady softball. That's not the same thing.
Yes, because they are better and faster.
Here, can you get around?
Iron Bandsgram played softball. Let me finish this first.
85 million. Yeah, that's true. Baseball's very North America and a little bit of Asian cultures, as well as the Caribbean.
Yeah, there's no baseball in Turkey, is there?
No, well, there's no baseball in Europe.
Really? Not in all of Europe?
Not really. It's typically...
Well, Turkey's not in Europe. Middle East. Yeah, see? They had uniforms for Iron Bandsgram. I bet when she played softball that she played harder and faster than what you do.
Yeah, I told you Turkey's in Europe.
Dang it.
Canadian education system wins again.
Thank you. Alright. I now have padding. I just gotta let it dry. Alright, so what am I cutting?
Then we go straight across.
Right here?
Yeah.
That's as far as you want?
Yeah. With my pencil. Yeah. Let me turn. Yeah, my turn.
I can't cut it the other way. I'm right-handed.
Okay.
I don't know how you're gonna do this. Okay, ignore what I'm...
You're tailoring. If you're into a tailor, that's like, that guy's right up your business.
Turn. Stop. Don't turn too much. I've been making it... I've kind of made it lower than what you had it. In the back. That's okay.
You just chop it off. Yeah, raise it up a little bit there in the crotch area too. Not too much, though. You don't want to go right into my underwear.
Stop. Stop pulling. I'm cutting it.
Okay, it's good under here.
There.
Okay. That looks good. Hopefully.
And I will hem it. Cut the other side.
Cup goes in there. You didn't cut anything with the cup.
Iron Band's Gramps says, check that rise.
Well, just cut the same length.
Alright, while you're doing that, let me put my machine back up. So I can hem it.
You went well over 9.
Okay, I did not... I have to fold it.
Oh, you can't fold it now.
Okay, well I told you I had to fold it over once.
No, just sew it across.
I can't just... Alright.
It doesn't need to be pretty.
I guess I'm going to be using an applique stitch.
Okay. Right across. I'm going to buy another pair.
Why? I thought you liked the full sliding shorts.
No.
Why?
Because I don't slide on my side anymore. I slide on my
Right.
legs.
Okay. These are so sharp. I gotta make sure I don't cut your
Pants.
long john.
No, they're not long.
Oh, just regular pants.
Yeah, under them.
There you go. All right, take them off.
Oh. So now basically it's a nice cup holder. The best jock shorts I've ever had.
I gotta change my. Will you do me a favor, hun? I need my plastic case that's in the bag that's under the.
Maybe it's like underwear. Plastic
I
case.
know that. And I said it that way.
Okay.
There's a big plastic case in the bag right there.
Yep.
And you just put your big head in front of the camera. Thank you. And J-foot.
Careful you don't come together though.
So what together?
My pants.
Look.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. What am I talking about? I don't know what I'm doing.
Yes, I know what I'm doing.
Looking good.
No, it's not.
I don't need to look good.
I don't have the right needle. I need a jersey needle.
You know how sweaty it's going to get down there? Don't worry about it.
Oh, honey.
Marley, come here, bud.
Stretch needles. That's what I want. Professional grade stretch needle. I love my chrome Schmetz needles.
They're great for sewing jock shorts.
What do you? No, that doesn't go there.
Yeah, throw that in my foot.
Soleil's not around, is she? Yeah, I would say that USA has a lot more baseball. A lot more than Canada.
Yeah, we're getting better at baseball, but we're not. We're nowhere near the Americans.
And talk slower, hun.
There is a World Cup. It's honestly it's kind of terrible. No one really watches it. It's just basically they have one professional league.
Slow down.
They have one professional league in North America, and it's where everybody goes to play.
It's the MLB.
So baseball is 9 people on the field and 9 people in the batting lineup. A baseball team typically consists of about 25 players. Baseball is very, very slow. If you don't like baseball, then
It's a good sport to drink.
it's, you know what? It's a sport. It's a math sport. Baseball's all about stats. It's there's just books and books and books and books on baseball stats.
This looks so bad.
It doesn't matter. In a baseball season, in the Major League Baseball, they play 162 games a year. They basically start from April, and the regular season ends sometime early October.
Today was
Well, no, opening day was yesterday.
Oh, I thought it was today.
No, it was opening day for the Blue Jays and a lot of other teams.
Yeah, today was the Nationals.
Yes, but official opening day was yesterday. You know twice?
Yep. Just to make sure. So, ball boy, probably.
Yeah, I'm not sure that one is. If you want a classic baseball movie,
Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams. That one has Field of Dreams has Kevin Costner and James Earl Jones in it. Field of Dreams.
Here, type it in.
That's a classic Americana film. I have no idea how your stand works. Oh, nice.
This is going to be an interesting description for my YouTube tomorrow. I made a Final Fantasy quilt and then finished by putting batting in my husband's helmet and fixing his shorts.
Hey, no, this batting is a fantastic quality test. If it can survive a sweaty grown man's head, then
Yes.
you know it's a quality batting, and you can advertise that.
I'm
You
not.
can like show pictures of your
I
sweaty.
am not going to advertise that it has survived a sweaty old man's bald head.
Yeah, I'm not bald. I got lots of hair. I'm balding, but I got lots of hair still.
There you go.
Perfect.
That looks horrible.
Don't care.
One more leg.
Since you gotta keep it family friendly, I'm not gonna go with the jokes I was thinking.
No, 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 no. Family friendly stream. No raunchy jokes. No swearing. Sometimes kids that I teach how to sew watch my streams.
So, in real baseball, the ball's about, I don't know, that big of a diameter, and it's hard. It's like a bunch of strings wrapped up. It's very hard. So you wear a protective cup to cover your private areas, because the ball can get hit at, can be hit over 100 miles an hour at you. So the reason why I wear the helmet is because I'm 50 feet away. I'm the closest person on the field to a hitter, and they can hit the ball at about 100 miles an hour. So it's not worth getting wrecked, having no family anymore, for recreational sport.
We're not having any more family anyways.
Well, the kid don't have a dad because, I was playing recreational sport.
Yeah, okay, yes.
Got my
You
face
dying, yes. Almost done with one pass of the second leg. I should have made the cuts smoother before I did this. Like, redone the cut.
It's not like I'm going to show it at conventions. I wouldn't buy a quilt from this lady because you can't sew sliding shorts properly.
People keep coming on this stream and leaving.
I'll take my top off and everybody will stay.
No, they won't. Leave your top on, please.
Where's your chat froze?
No, it didn't. It didn't freeze. No one else has typed anything. That happens sometimes. See? The blind side.
Oh, that's American football.
Oh, okay, so that's not baseball.
That's American football.
It's football.
American football.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one with Sandra Bullock.
I've never seen it. Oh, Iron Band's Graham says take your top off.
Yeah, you don't want that. It's like a pasty white.
And Iron Band's Graham is the other quilter that I talked to.
I know, I look your stream every so often, make sure it's working.
I know, Jordan told me earlier, you guys were watching earlier when her daughter came on and said, hi, Mommy. And it confused me. These are going to be so bad.
I don't even care.
They're going to work. Oh, I'm almost out of bobbin thread. Am I gonna make it? No.
I didn't know you're at a bottom thread. Oh. Why do you have 2 threads?
One for the top and one for the bottom. How do you think it stays? It interlocks. So the thread comes down, the thread comes up, and it interlocks.
So why would these ones be small and that one be big? That one's bigger.
Because you can only fit on the bobbin this much thread.
No, that seems like an inferior design.
For some of the things like Iron Bandsgram does, she does embroidery, and she has an industrial embroidery machine with all these things, and yeah, so it has tons of big spools for the top and the bottom.
I don't know. Just seems inferior design.
It's not. Alright. Let's start it back here. Alright, anytime you have any loose threads that are hanging, do not pull them, trim them. Okay? Or give it to me and I'll sew them back in. Almost done. There you go. Good night, Kat.
Thank you.
And I am done too, so I'm leaving too.
No,
Thanks for hanging out, guys. I appreciate it. And thanks for the input, Iron Bandsgram. I really, really appreciate that. So I will get started. Oh, let me show you what I'm doing tomorrow. I'm going to start working on that. It is a queen size quilt. So I'm working on the pattern right now. I will start cutting all the strips, and that's my stream tomorrow, as I'm going to work on this stuff. So, good night. I will upload this to YouTube tomorrow. Thanks for joining me. You're welcome, Kat. I will see you guys later.